They said it couldn't be done. They said it was impossible. They said you could never review 2 action figures in one review. And I, Dweebo, aka the dual action figure reviewer of the internet, I'm here to prove them all wrong. So thank you guys for joining me today. We're going to be reviewing YUFFIE and Sonon, the newest additions to the Final Fantasy VII Remake Play Arts Kai figures. So let's get straight into it. The first thing I noticed with this figure is that she's actually in scale with the other figures, meaning she was always kind of the tinier girl in the series, and she is the shortest of the other figures in the line. Sephiroth so far being the tallest that I've seen. So I really like that because I'm loving displaying these all on one shelf, and they look really great together that way. In the Integrate DLC, we finally get to see YUFFIE as she's introduced, and she's wearing this brown coat garb with a Moogle hat, and they have faithfully recreated that on the figure. The brown coat has a little bit of flexibility to it. You can see the texture, almost kind of like a burlap sack on the coat. Everything is hyper detailed, as is everything with this line so far. This figure has a lot of great textures, from the smooth undercoat to that burlap sack that I just mentioned, to the little button eyes on the Moogle hat, to the actual socks having ridges from the kind of being longer socks on there. Everything feels great. Everything's awesome, and you'll see in a second even the accessories are really cool as well. Because of this overcoat, this is one of the first figures in the line that suffers from kind of a posability issue because of this coat, and more on that later. But you can still move the feet, you can do all this other stuff, so you can move and still get her in a lot of poses, but there is some problems with that overcoat. You do get one additional face, which, controversial opinion, I think this is a 10 out of 10 face for this line that are usually hit or miss at times, as you may know. But I love this face. It looks just like YUFFIE in the game as I imagine her. But I think they got the cheeks, all, the smile here. I think it looks awesome. You do get one collar hat Moogle hoodie thing that you can replace, and what this will allow you to do is to take off that hood from the top and make it look like that hood is now off. And as you can see here, you can just place the other face inside of there, and I think it looks great. I think it's a great choice because I want to, as I said, I really love this face. I want to show more of it. I don't want to hide this over with the hoodie, even though if you want to display her that way, you can as well. You get some extra hands on that left hand because she wears kind of a guard. They only give you the 2, which makes sense. There's not much gestures you can do when you're trying to hold this guard as well. I don't know why they separated it from the other, where that little block stand that I really do enjoy that they do. It keeps all these hands organized. But they separate it for some reason, maybe for the packaging. But you also get, on the other hand, she's holding materia. I think that's a healing materia that she's holding, but awesome addition. I thought that was really cool because in the original she loves that materia. I think in the new one she loves materia, but there you go. They've also included YUFFIE's weapon in the game, her shuriken. It is greatly detailed. You can see the materia pieces in there, like the similar figures in the line with their weapons. You can see the materia. I think that's a great attention to detail on there. It's pretty big. When she holds it, I mean, it takes up a lot of space when she's holding that, but it's just like the game. It looks really cool with her holding it. As much as I like this figure and I like the overcoat that they added in the remake, I really also like how they remade and reimagined how she looked in the original with that green crop top and just those shorts. And if you lift up the coat, and this wasn't in a perverted way, you can see that they actually created that green crop top very detailed underneath that coat. However, when you pull it up on the front, on the chest, that coat kind of snaps in, but when I pulled it back, there's paint, and the same thing happens in the back when I tried to take that coat off. there is residue paint on mine. On top of that, even if I didn't have the paint, if you take all of the coat off, the head, everything, like I take this thing apart down to the studs, and you can see, even if I was able to not have that, the block wasn't in her chest where she had this freaking coat surgery, even if all that was gone, the turtleneck from that crop top, whatever, and that head just would look extremely, extremely weird if you're able to get the coat off. So they didn't really make it to where you could take the coat off, and I was kind of majorly bummed about that. Once I saw it was all kind of detailed under there, I said, oh, you can take all this stuff off, and you actually can take the individual arms off, and I don't know why they did that. I don't know why they allowed that stuff to come off. And underneath, it's just this kind of ugliness that would never look good on a shelf. On top of that, I'm not sure even what the alternative would have been with this figure. Maybe a coat and a non-coat version. They make you pay for each individually. I don't know. But that's something I'm very, very bummed about, and something that you should know about if you think that you can just pop the coat off. You really can't. It looks kind of bad. In the DLC for Final Fantasy VII Remake, we got Sonon, a whole new character, and the first new character to actually get a figure. So Sonon here stands pretty tall, taller than Yuffie, and he's got hair like a Greek god here. You can see every single strand of hair there. You can see the wrinkles in the jeans. He's got armor on. One thing I really love about this character, and they do this sometimes, not only can you move his button shirt, it kind of has some maneuverability to it with the shirt, but also on his jeans where he ties his pants or whatever, those two strings are actually loose. You can kind of move those. And that's what you're getting for when you're purchasing these Play Arts Kai figures. You're getting extreme attention to detail, down to the fabric type, down to the maneuverability of the clothes, to the strands in the hair, to the details on the weapons, the carving into the weapons and accessories, stuff like that. This figure only comes with the one default face that is attached right out of the packaging, and the face kind of looks like a mannequin of Sonon, not a actual Sonon face, and it's kind of expressionless, and I think that's my problem with it. It's very stern and lifeless, whereas Yuffie's is fun and expressive. You're not getting that here. It's not terrible. I'm not kicking and screaming and writing nasty comments on Square Enix's Twitter about this, but it's kind of a letdown. He comes with some extra hands so they can grip his staff, get your head out of the gutter. He can also keep his hands open, has different poses, kind of a pointing pose while he's holding the staff. Different little hands. It's pretty cool. And that brings us to the staff itself. It has a little kind of bell thing at the top of it. Looks really cool. It's almost like a keychain, dangles off of there. And when I first got this, I was kind of confused because it had that little metal rod, and I was like, oh, was I supposed to have a grip there? And I was dumb and didn't realize that you actually take this, attach it to the other piece, and there is this whole staff. They did it to fit in the packaging. It's a very long staff, very long weapon there. Looks awesome when he's holding it. You can actually have it kind of held in the back there where it kind of pops out, where those pieces combine. You can actually have them stick and combine inside that little sheath on his back, or you can have him hold it. I have him holding it there, but looks great on a shelf. Just anything with those large weapons with these figures looks great. I always choose to use those where I can. So should you get these figures? That is a great question. If you're a Yuffie fan, man, I think the face looks great. I love that giant Sarukan weapon, and I have her holding it here, as you can see. The changing out of having that Moogle hood on or off is great. I think the posability kind of lacks on her figure. Also, the weird letdown that I had that you couldn't just have that basic outfit that she has underneath and use that. But other than that, if you're a Yuffie fan, I think it's a great deal. I think it looks great on a shelf, as the other ones. I know I say that a lot, but they really are freaking cool when you got them under a shelf, maybe some lighting. paired with the other figures in some way, posed out. Sonon is a different story. Sonon's a new character. If you connected with Sonon, if you thought he looked cool, I would grab him. I'm going for a complete set of these figures because I've just loved the remake so much. But his face is kind of lifeless. You can pose him. He looks cool with the staff and stuff. But these figures are expensive. They're 100 plus. I think this was 125-ish. I can't remember off the top of my head, but in that range as the other figures have been after shipping. But yeah, I like them. I think they look cool together on a shelf, but if you're trying to save money, I would say skip Sonon and then see if it's important for you or not to have that original outfit by Yuffie. If not, these are bangers. I like them. I like to throw on my shelf. I'm not trying to return them or sell them, but something to think about. Those are my thoughts. And that is a wrap on all of the 2022 releases for this Final Fantasy VII Remake line. You know I'm going for all of them, and I thought it would be cool as we wrap up this year on these figures before the next release, I think, is March for the Cloud dress figure and the 2 other Tifa dress figures. So I thought it'd be cool to kind of show what I've got so far on my shelf. I don't know, I'm gonna have to find some more room, but I thought it'd be cool to kind of show this off a little bit. But I've got all of these kind of miniature. They did the little blind box thing here. Got the game back there. I think there's a special edition or a little pre-order bonus that came with the game. And I've got these fellas here, these chicks over here. We've got this doggy right here. And then right here, the ones that we just reviewed in this video. Waiting to just kind of fill these out with the ones coming next year. And again, some Evangelion right here. And Jesse on the bike. I don't know what I'm gonna do with these other ones that are coming next year on the bike. It's gonna be crazy. Stay tuned for how I'm gonna figure that out. But I just wanted to thank you guys for watching the channel, liking, subscribing, and all that stuff. If you haven't done that already, please do. I'd appreciate it. But thank you guys for sticking with me. I've loved the comments. Very funny comments, calling me out when I don't know something or I mispronounce something. Aerith, Irie, you guys have really loved when I've done that a lot. But thank you guys, seriously, for all the support, watching. I do enjoy checking that stuff out and seeing what you guys are saying. So again, it'll be about March-ish is when I'm gonna hit back up unless those get delayed. But thank you guys for watching. Let me know what is your favorite figure so far in the line. Man, that Sephiroth has done a lot for me. But that Red 13, that posable towel, I think it's between those two. But let me know what you guys think. And again, like, subscribe, and check out, we do a podcast on the channel. We talk about video games, TV shows, movies. We also stream weekly on Thursdays in my Hangouts show that I do with my buddies. But yeah, check that stuff out in the meantime. Thank you guys for watching, and see you all later.